My name is Shoaib Ahmed and I'm working with Oracle Apex since 2012. I have developed various applications using Oracle Apex. Apex automation is one of the best feature in the in this release, in last release of Apex 20.2 release. And this API is very useful for the developers, especially if you are working in the restricted environment where you don't have rights to create database jobs. So here is the solution provided us. Let me tell you how can you access the Apex automation. From the shared component, you can see in application logics, new feature is enabled called automations. Okay, before moving towards the example, I'm going to give you some example and syntax. What you can do with this application, what you can do with this procedure. Basically, these are similar like jobs, and you can call the API within your application, within your database, and within your dynamic action. If you are using dynamic actions in your application, so you can disable the automation process, you can enable the automation process, and you can execute the automation process from the application side. I have already created a process of automation. Let's jump into the process. How can you make the process? Let me tell you. Here is the name of the process which are you going to use in the application. You need the static ID. This static ID will use, you will use this static ID in the API. We'll tell you later how can you use this. How can you run the automation? There are two types, on demand and schedule. If you choose on demand, then you also have actions like query, function body, returning, booleans, and always. If you choose always, the automation process will execute always. So what I have done, I have scheduled the process hourly in an hourly basis. When I go inside the schedule, what we find, frequency of weekly, daily, hourly, and monthly. If I choose weekly, then I have options to set the days like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's suppose I would like to call my automation process on every Monday. Then I will only select Monday from this window, and then execution hour. Let's suppose I want to execute my automation process hourly on Monday at 8 p.m. So I will write 8 here. If I want to execute my process on 8:15, then I will write here 15. The process will execute on every Monday at 8:15 p.m. On daily frequency, I have interval of 1, 2, 3. If I choose 2 here, then the process will execute on every second day. Just like execution hours, 8:15. You can set the frequency hourly. Like if I want to execute my process on hourly basis, you can set the interval here, and just like minutes. So what I'm doing, I'm going to create a process on daily basis with the interval of 1, with execution hours of 12. Let's suppose set execution interval. I can active my schedule status. I can disable the process. I can execute on the initiation of query, on function body returning booleans, and I can choose always. Okay, this is the source. Let's suppose you have a query returning two rows of data. Then the process will execute two times. If your query is returning one row only, then your process will execute only for one time, and so on. The source type is here is the table. You can choose a table from here. You can write the SQL query as I have written. You can use the function body returning SQL. So I have used the SQL query here. I will tell you what is going on here. So before going further, let me tell you the use case of this API. Let's suppose I want to generate a request. What is the request? I'm going to put my name here, my email address here, and I want to basically I want to request for a new laptop. You know? So I'll write here new laptop. Sorry, and I will enter some description like. Please provide me a new laptop, and I will send the request. So the request will fall in the database with the status of P. P means pending. As you can see here, my request status is pending, and the execution time is request date is 8 November 3:13 p.m. This is what I'm doing here. I am selecting the request ID, request title, description, name, email from the table where status is equal to P means pending. My request is still pending. Let me generate another request. And now at this time, my name is Adil. My email address is same. Request title is new mouse. And let me, I'm not giving anything in the description, and let me share the request. As you can see in the schedule type, I have tell the application process to execute on daily at 12 p.m. So I want to change it. I'm saying I want this process to execute daily or minutely after 1 minute interval. This process will call on every 1 minute. Every minute, this process will call on every minute. Let me check. I'm going to save the changes. What happened here? Nothing. It is still pending. Okay. What is the action system will take on my request? This is the second scenario. On this request, on the result of this query, my system will take action. You can add action from this button. As I have already added the action, so let me tell you what is this. System will check the status. System will check the rows in their from the database in every minute and will take action automatically. There is no human who is taking the action on the approvals, either it's reject or approved. System is taking action itself. Like what I have done, I am saying in this process that update table set status. If the description is null, then the request will be rejected, and the description is available, the request will be accepted. I am dating this date, the status date. Okay. What is this? This is the variables. This is the environmental variables which you can use in this process. Like if my query return two rows with the request ID 1 and request ID 2, it will work as a loop. It will first initiate the request ID number 1, and then it will initiate the request ID number 2. So it's working like a loop. If my request ID is 1, then the 1 will pass here and the system will update the status against the request ID 1. Then what I am doing, I am sending the mail to the person. Who is the person? Shoaib, and yeah, mail sent to, it's my own email. You can use any email you want. I'm using the Apex mail send and the template option here, and then I'm pushing the queue mails. Let me check. It's 1 hour. Oh, sorry, it's 1 minute now. More than 1 minute. Let me check what is the status of my application. I have not done anything. I have not done anything. It's just system is doing its job. I think. You can check the logs here. Either my request has been processed or not. Last execution time 42 minutes ago. Let me save and run this automation process. What happened then when we say save and run the process? The system will check the statuses of the application. It's automatically rejected. My description is null. The system marked the status as rejected. Description is not null. System marked the status as approved. Let me check my email. What's done? Either I've received email or not. I will also tell you how can you execute this process or this API. How can you call this API from the database and from the animation or from anywhere else you want. I've gotten on first request, on second request, sorry, I've got dear Adil, your request number this for new mouse has been rejected. Remarks, please enter the complete description of your request. So there is no human interaction in this process. You can do anything you want with this process. You can set automatic emails. You can set attendance. You can do what anything you want. This is just the replica of Apex Job with some great features, with some new features, and within the environment of Oracle Apex. Now, I'm going to use the API. How can you use the API from the application? Let me copy my code. And I'm going to Oracle Workshop. Let me open a command prompt for SQL commands. You can call the disable process. I'm sorry, I'm going to disable the application status from enable to disable. It's as you can see, it's enabled now, and I want to disable this. Okay, it's already disabled. Sorry. So if it's disabled, I want to enable it. I say that enable my process. Apex underscore automation dot enable application ID. This is the ID of your application, the current application ID. You can use app underscore ID as well if you don't want to write the application number. And this is the static ID of my automation process, which I have already told you about. Once I open it, I can check, I can see the static ID of my application, request underscore approval. Let's suppose it is 123, then I will use 123 static ID here. Now I'm going to enable the process by calling the API. Let me execute this process. The system says statement process. And now I'm going to refresh this page. As you can see, my schedule status is now active, and it will now going to work on every minute. The system is telling you last run when the last time this process was executed, and the next time when will this process will run in the next time. And here how I can disable the process by just typing Apex automation dot disable. Now you can see my process schedule status is disabled. This is the enable and disable process. There are many things you can do with this using these APIs. I'm just trying to give you 3 examples now. How can you execute procedure? Let's suppose I don't want to schedule my process. I just want to execute my process on after some cases, like if I get true from my statement, then I want to run this process. So you can use this method. Apex underscore automation dot execute. You need to enter your application ID. You need to enter your static ID. If there is a filter, so you can use the filters here. Here's the example how you can use the Apex automation process if you want to execute the process. So this is the biggest big change in the Apex, and this is the biggest feature in this release, I must say. Now what I have shown you that you can enable or disable process, how you can run the process, or how you can execute the process. Now I am doing nothing. I'm just generating a request again. I'm giving my name here. My request title is need a pen. And send request to the, let's suppose, to the admin. And let me check the status of my process. It's disabled now. Again, I'm going to enable it. Let's check it's enabled or disabled now. It is. Not yet enabled. No, it's active now. Let me check what happened to my request. It's in pending state. Now we will wait to Apex automation to execute the process. We will not execute the process manually. We will wait 1 minute to run the Apex underscore process. Then we'll check what happened. If you want to know how much time is remaining to execute the next process, you can check by clicking on your request. The next execution time is 11 seconds from now. It means my request will be either approved or reject after 11 seconds automatically. I am not doing anything. It's just the automation process which is doing its work. Let me refresh my page and check what happened. The request has rejected. So this is the very basic thing I have shared with you, that how can you use Apex automation process, and this will give you ease in your life. Hope you guys will understand. Okay, what is the next topic? Our next topic is Apex collection. I'm moving towards the Apex collection.
Shoaib, do you mind going back to the automation? I have a couple of questions. It will be great to, somebody's asking, can I use, for example, SMS APIs with automation? Well, definitely yes, you can. If you have an external SMS API gateway that you are subscribing to, and there is an endpoint, a RESTful endpoint, you can call it from the actions of your automation. Now, we don't have an SMS gateway from Apex itself, but you can use any third party. Is it similar? Somebody's asking, is it similar to DBMS scheduler or DBMS jobs?
At some point, you can say this is a similar, but there are many other different options you can use here. Like you can use the REST enabled services, REST data source. In the database, I think you're not able to use these. you can call the REST data services, and on the execution of this, what result you will get, the system will check either the action will happen or not. So there are many changes in this process.
Yeah, I would say actually it's greatly enhanced and simplified compared to DBMS scheduler. Plus, sometimes you as a developer, you might not have an access to DBMS scheduler, while Apex can provide you this access. And if you've seen how you schedule things, if you use DBMS scheduler like me before, which we use a lot internally in Oracle, this is much more easier, right? So
yes,
yeah, I would say. And now another question is, I love it. Is there an audit trail? Somebody's asking, do we have to create our own logging? Well, let me answer this, Shoaib. If you go to automations, there is actually an execution log that will log all the different automations that you had with the status and how many successful rows, how many error rows, and so on. And plus the package itself, Apex_automation, has a log error functionality, has a log warning, I think, and log info. So you can use those functions to log these kind of things. So you don't need to implement your own logging or audit trail. I hope I answered you, Rachel. And yeah, I think that's it. Maybe you can move to next, and then